Alright, so today I'm gonna be talking about the weird kids, specifically one kid that I knew, because why the hell not? So let me get one thing clear. There's a difference between being weird and being the weird kid. Like, everybody's a little weird at heart, and everybody has something like weird about them, but you can still be accepted into society with being a little weird. For example, there's this one kid in my grade 7 class who watched High School DxD on an iPad in front of everyone and just had no shame at all. He was a little weird, but we all loved him. So I wasn't the most popular kid growing up, but I also wasn't a loser. I was just a guy that knew everyone and everyone knew me. So when I was 10 years old, I moved schools and it was pretty much a new start. I knew absolutely no one except for some family friends who went there by pure chance. So my friend Eric, the family friend, he dragged me out to hang out with his friends and they were the athletic kids. So what we did, we played Foursquare all the time, because at the time, that was all we had to do aside from like other sports and stuff. And we had a lot of fun. And you know, everything was going well. I was fitting in and I was getting to know everyone, but then I made one big mistake. So one day, the weird kid came up to me. Let's call him Christopher, named after the kid from Sonic. And you know, he was pretty chill. We got along pretty well. Like, we watched the same videos like PewDiePie and Markiplier. We were into Legos and we were hella into video games as well. And over time, I started hanging out with him and kind of his little like group of weird kids. And you know, I essentially downgraded and man, it was the biggest mistake I ever made. So I have multiple examples to explain why this decision was a big mistake that I made in my life. So anyway, example 1, the furries. Anyway, so in grade 5 when all of this happened, I was pretty much a dumbass like every kid, but you know, we would talk and get to know each other, play video games, and you know, we would play Legos too, which was alright. So the more you get to know someone, you know, the more you get to know like their bads and goods. So I started to see the red flags, but me back then didn't really acknowledge it or knew what it was. So these people were furries. Like, I didn't know what a furry was. I didn't know what it was for a while. I learned it later on in life, but looking back at it, yeah, it was weird. So one day it was indoor recess, and you know, these guys said, "Hey, let's play." So you know, I was like, "Bet, why not?" So they got on all fours, and that's how I found out they were furries. They started making animal noises like cat noises, and I was confused. I didn't know what to do. So I was standing there confused, and I remember the plot line of their like story of their roleplay or whatever. I think they looked at me and said I was the bird. So the story was I was the bird taking in the 2 cats and taking care of them. And I think it was ripped off of one of those like Cat Warrior books or some shit. And honestly, I should have seen that shit when Christopher said he was a Sonic fan. That was red flag number 1. But once again, my dumbass didn't catch it. I should have caught it when he was wearing that fucking Sonic shirt every single day. So fast forward a few days, my popular friend Eric walks up to me and he's like, "Yo, why are you hanging out with Chris, bro? He's weird." And you know, my ass offended him, and I was like, "Yo, he wasn't so bad." It was pretty bad, by the way. But anyway, I hung out with this guy more than once, and the more I hung out with this guy, the more I realized how like weird he was. And once again, I didn't catch on to any of this stuff. I didn't catch on to the red flags. Everyone was annoyed with him, now that I look back at it, because he would just talk weirdly and just annoy the living shit out of everyone. And once again, I didn't catch on to that. I remember when we were hanging out with the friend group, and one of them came up to me and talked to me in private, and she was like, "Yeah, Chris is just using you." And I don't know why he would use me, but we were kids back then, so who knows. But you know, when I found out, I cried in front of everyone. But guess what? The girl he liked and her friend started comforting me, saying that I could hang out with them. Then he started crying, like, what? Like, I'm the victim here, I should be crying, what the fuck, man? So yeah, I stopped hanging out with them because they were overall just toxic and just weird. So in grade 6, I hung out with a new group of people, but you know, in the same year, they fucking backstabbed me, and you know, Brandon T, if you're watching this, I hope you fucking get hit by a train. Anyway, grade 7, I started hanging out with them again, because grade 5 to graduation, so grade 8, we were in the same class every single year. Like, what were you thinking, teachers? Luckily, I met a ton of cool people in the grade 7 class, and it was easy because I wasn't the only Asian kid in my class, and there were a lot of other Asian kids. So we kind of formed a group together, like all the Asians and like some other ethnicities, and he was there too, mainly through me. And this year, he lied a lot. Like, I remember that year I got into League of Legends, unfortunately, because my friends forced me to play, and he wanted to fit in, so he lied saying that he played it before, to which he clearly didn't. I feel like I'm dragging on this example a bit too long, so I'm gonna go into the next example. Example 2. Scamming me. So this particular example is gonna be pretty quick. So there was one time where he had a flyer job where he would give flyers around the neighborhood, and he gave me an offer in exchange for a percentage of the pay, to which I agreed to. So for the next 2 months, I worked my ass off, folding flyers, packing flyers, spending time after school, neglecting my friends to kinda send flyers over to the neighborhood. Did I get paid, by the way? Hell no. I was thinking the whole time, hey, I can't wait to make money because I felt useful. And making money, everybody likes to make money. And I was like, what, like 11 back then? But that shit never happened. So I told 2 of my other friends about the situation. And the first thing they did was go up to him and ask him, hey, why aren't you paying Jason? Because they're good friends of mine and they stood on business and I appreciate them for that. And he said, I didn't work. Like, what do you fucking mean I didn't work? I neglected my friends. I didn't go outside. I didn't get to play soccer. I didn't play any games because I was busy doing slave labor for you. Yeah, we need to move on before I get too heated. So example 3, corn. So you guys must be thinking, why is this called corn? And I'm just gonna explain it to you, and it's gonna make a lot of sense to you guys. So there was one time, he sent me a whole paragraph on iMessage on some very like explicit copy pasta, like some Vaporeon equivalent copy pasta. And when I found out about this, my eyes widened because it was very explicit. I don't know, he found it off of 4chan or the internet or something. And I was like, yo, what? So shortly after, within like a day I think, his dad finds out and punishes him, like rightfully so. He suspends him from playing on Xbox. So how did he respond to this? He said that I did it. Then doubled down by saying, if you want to play with me on Xbox and not have my Xbox taken away, then take the fall. And I don't even know why I stayed friends with him after. I took the fall after, and yeah, I got lectured next time I was over at his house by his dad. Now fast forward to grade 8. So grade 8 comes, and in Canada, we don't have middle school. At least in Ontario. You're in elementary school from kindergarten to grade 8. So it's our last year, and I show up. It's a rainy day, but it's fine. I'm like, I can't wait to be in the same class as my friends. But once again, that never happened. Because you know what they did? They gathered all the trouble kids and threw them into a grade 7-8 split in a portable in the middle of nowhere with me dragged into it. And my god, it was a horrible time because we were in portables from the day I enrolled till the day I graduated. Grade 8 was literally like when Tobirama from Naruto put all the Uchiha in the corner of the village, to which that happened to me once again, because they put us in the portable in the middle of nowhere, in the corner. We're literally the Uchiha. And to sum it all up, I was separated from all my friends. I was the only Asian in that classroom aside from like grade 7 and I think another kid, I think. But I told myself I was the only Asian in my class because I was separated from all my friends. But you know who I had? Chris. Just roll the clip.
Boarding school. Oh well, it's just one day out of your life, Squiddy. How bad could it be?
Oh, Squidward!
So yeah, I was visibly upset. But the bright side is I logged in that year because I was never the smartest kid, so my grades were really bad. But this year, I went from C's to B's to A's. But there was just one little issue. They put me with Christopher every opportunity they got. Seating arrangement, I was sitting with him. Group work, I was always with him. Partner work, it was always him, not by choice. There was one time in that whole year where I sat away from him and we were on opposite ends of the class. And wow, what a coincidence. I made so many new friends, got to know so much new people, and everybody finally knew me in that class. It was going well. And do you remember when I said I was stuck with them for group work 2 seconds ago? Yeah, that still applied even if I wanted to work with new people. For example, in music class, we essentially had to find a partner and rehearse the song together. And I played the clarinet, and I wanted to be with my new friend Evan. He played the trombone. He was new to trombone. I was okay with the clarinet, but I wanted to be partners with them. But then the teacher dragged me away and says, "Hey, can you be partners with Christopher? He has no one to be partners with." This might be the one thing that I'm the most pressed about looking back. So I actually grew to like some of the people in the split class, you know. They were chill, they had no issue with me, I had no issue with them. But there was just one issue once again. I made a lot of new friends, and you know, a lot of the girls liked me, to which was surprising. However, this man ruined it, and this dude would not shut up. And he ended up beefing some of the girls for absolutely no reason. The weird kid label did not escape him at all. Everyone thought he was weird, and that led to some of the girls beefing me. Like, I'm innocent, man. I am innocent. But you know, at the end of the year, they did apologize, and we were cool again. So example 4, copying. So fast forward to high school, I'm still with this dude. And you know, during like freshman year, everybody's with their own schools because nobody really knows each other. So during this year, that was when I got into video editing and stuff. And this is when the internet was like pretty low key, like it wasn't so mainstream. But you know, I really enjoyed it, and it was something that nobody did at the time. But you know, I found my passion, I was editing and uploading, I would share it to people like an idiot. So here is where the issue comes in. He starts copying me just one random day, and he kind of starts doing the same thing. He makes a new channel, starts posting Overwatch videos and anime. It's pretty much the same thing I was doing. And you know, I don't mind at the end of the day on what you do. It's fine to copy someone and imitate someone you respect. That was a compliment. But what the issue was that it felt like he was trying to one-up me constantly. Like 14-year-old me, you know, I got really annoyed with it. I mean, like, it felt like plagiarism in the end of the day. Like, this dude was just, any move I made, he also made. And that got really, really annoying. So what did I do? I confronted him in our Skype chat because Discord existed back then, but nobody used Discord. Everyone was on Skype. So I confronted him in our Skype group chat, and he pressed back until my other friend stepped in, and he folded. My friends came in and defended me. And since then, we didn't speak until the end of high school. Alright, bear with me guys. I know I've been yapping a lot, but I promise this is the final example. So, example 5. Scamming me. Again. So we are on the final example. So this is during my college years. This was quite recent. This was during the pandemic because yeah, I am a 2020 graduate from high school. So him and I reconnected during the pandemic. I'm not sure why, we just did. And for the first couple years, it went well. We just played games, and my mindset was, I'm not going to talk about any other stuff with him outside of video games, because that's what we like. And you know, it was a pretty pleasant experience. So this was where the problem started to rise again. Because we're in the pandemic, everybody's unemployed, the world is pretty much falling apart. So it started with gacha games, and then money problems, and then unemployment. So I'm gonna go over by it one by one. So this man eventually grew up to be your stereotypical basement dweller. He was a gacha game addict, so he played Genshin Impact, Zenless Zone Zero, Wuthering Waves. Those were the big 3, and there are probably way more gacha games, but those were the big 3 that come to my mind. And this ties to the money problems that came in. So he would spend an ungodly amount of money on these gacha games. Like if he wanted a character E6, I can guarantee you, he probably spent money to E6 them, or E2, who knows. Regardless, he spent a lot of money. Like those Genshin bundles that they reset every year, yeah, he bought all of it. Oh, but we're not done yet. The cherry on top is that, well, he lost his job. Now, that is tragic. I'm not gonna judge him for that. Like, that's completely out of his control to an extent. But then, the issue was that your unemployment, so you had no income now. And now, but the money problem's still there. I'm sorry if I'm stuttering. I'm trying to process this because I think it's absolutely bizarre. But now you just have no money because it's blown all on gacha games and Uber Eats. And despite everything, like everything that's happened in the past, I still want to help him because that's just the type of person I am. I want to help people, and since I was technically friends with him at the time, I wanted to help him. But the only thing I got was complaining and complaining and more complaining, mainly about no money. I have no money. I need money. So how did I help this guy? So he didn't really leave the house often, but you know, when I dragged him out of the house, I would have to buy him his bus tickets, to which he gave them to his brother, or I would give him my old computer headset or like USBs, to which he boasted to his brother about how he got them for free. So the final breaking point was when I bought him a game, because he was broke and unemployed, to which I did not really care about that. You want to help your friends, you know. I have friends that bought me drinks when we went out like clubbing and stuff. I had friends that bought me Ubers, and I feel grateful for that, and you know, I want to pay them back. So I was like, I want to do the same for others. So back to this situation, I bought him BattleBit. When it came out, it was viral, everyone was playing it, and I was like, yo, let's play this game. I'll buy it for you, and you can just pay me back later. So the issue was that he kept delaying the money that he owed me, saying like, oh, I'll pay later, I'll wait, the money's not here yet. So it really, like, it ended up with him saying, oh, I paid a customs fee for when we bought stuff in the past for gamer subs. Because yeah, there was a time when we bought gamer subs and we didn't want to pay, or like, we didn't want to buy separate, so we bought it together. And I bought 1 cup and 1 drink, to which was like 50, 90 bucks. It wasn't that much, but then he blew like $300 on a bunch of stuff, to which that was where the customs fee came in. And he said he had to pay $40 for that, and now he's charging me with the fee, being like, oh, I don't have to pay you back because blah blah blah. And this was my breaking point, because I cut him off after that, being like, hey, I can't be friends with you if you're just gonna be, you know, the descent in the madness, and like, I just can't like deal with you anymore, you know? So you're gonna lose your only friend for what, 20 bucks? I mean, be my guest. So yeah, that was really all I had to talk about and yap about. I do have a lot more to say about this, so if you guys want a part 2, you know, just let me know. So the moral of the story is that if you want to help someone, then go for it. Don't stop, don't let me and my story stop you from helping out someone, especially a weird kid. But just know that you can only help someone so much. Look after yourself before anyone, because when you're looking after someone to such a dangerous extent, you forget to look after yourself in the process. Like, look at me, I gave the weird kid a chance, and look where that got me. I just wasted time, because he went from the weird kid to this basement dweller, internet warrior, misogynistic, chronically online dude that lives in his mom's basement, like porn addict with no friends to this date. So like, yeah. That being said, not everyone's like this. You know, some weird people grow out of their weird allegations, like the weird kids. And you know, not like, once again, like, this was just an unlucky, unfortunate thing where I thought he would grow out of it, and he just didn't grow out of it. And not everyone's like it, but there are some people like it. So be sure to look out for red flags. But yeah, that's all I have to say. I'll